I'm going to ask for something strange. I want to ask you please to stand and give a clap to these men and women who have organized this event to bring all of us together this evening. Thank you. You can remain seated. I want to thank the president of the African Student Union and the whole team in the association for organizing this event for us to get together. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries here tonight, I wish to recognize all your presence. Madame, Mesdemoiselles et Messieurs, distingués invités, dignitaires, je vais reconnaître votre présence ici ce soir, aujourd'hui. I'm very honored, and it's a great pleasure for me to speak here this evening on this event where all we gather tonight to share not only the beauty of our culture, but to also share what we as a community we have together. When I was told to come here and speak to you this evening, I was told that I will be speaking about my human rights work and struggle in the Democratic Republic of Congo and in Africa. But I thought the theme of today, the theme of tonight, is so beautiful, enchanting Africa. L'Afrique enchantée. This is a very beautiful theme that in it we can see the meaningful of Africa. Sometimes many of us, when we think about Africa, we think of Africans as an ethno-cultural group. No, it's not that. Africa is a so diverse continent with 54 nations, independent nations, with more than 1,000 languages and different cultures, over 1 billion people. Total land area, over 20% of the global land area. That is what Africa is. But an opportunity like this goes beyond speaking about the continent alone. It enriches us here in Fredericton as Canadians, as Asians, as Africans, as Europeans, all of us as a people. It brings us together. It helps us to celebrate our cultural diversity. But there is something when we celebrate all this that we don't tell each other, is that in truth, our world today, we still have different issues to overcome as a community. Racism, gender bias, and many people will disagree with me that there is racism. There is, but no one will come today and tell you you are white, or you are nigger, or you are yellow. No one will tell you that. But it can be manifested in different ways at work and wherever you go. So there are many ways. And an event like this is an event to celebrate, but also learn from each other that what we have as a difference is what we have in common as richness. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like, before I take a plane a little bit and take you to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where I come from, I would like to tell you, to quote Mandela. Nelson Mandela says that when we lose the freedom to be different, we lose the opportunity to be free. When we lose the right to be culturally different, we lose the opportunity to be free. It can be defined in many ways. So all this brings our freedom even further as a community. Ladies and gentlemen, as I take my plane to the Democratic Republic of Congo with you, a country in the heart of Africa, you all know that Africa, Congo in particular, has been in a war since 1996 to date. This war is known as the deadliest war of Africa. It has claimed the lives of between 6 and 8 million, and it continues to claim even more. 48 women are raped in the Democratic Republic of Congo every hour. And that is only the statistics for the cases reported. Millions of children have lost their destiny, captured, coerced in different fighting groups. Millions of people are displaced. And all this is happening when in the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have the biggest United Nations mission in the whole world, around 20,000 men armed, 20,000 men armed and calling themselves peacekeepers. With at least a budget for this year, $1.5 billion. Can you imagine that happening in the presence of that? That 200 men can take arms and kill millions, rape 48 women every hour, when you have 20,000 men and women calling themselves UN. Of course, the whole world is watching this. This is how the Holocaust happened. This is how the Holocaust happened in Germany, and later people gathered and said, no, this can no longer happen. It happened in Rwanda a few years ago. Why are we having this same thing repeated every time? And yet we say we are members of one nation, one community, one United Nations. Of course, you all know that. And in any team, a team is as stronger as the weakest member of the team. The international community, the United Nations, is as stronger as the Democratic Republic of Congo with all those atrocities. That is what it is. These atrocities, for me to bring them to the attention, because it has been hiding and it continues to hide. Even media do not talk about it. For me to bring it to light, I decided to observe a 48 days hunger strike. I'm sure many of you heard of that. It was so painful. I can't go through what it was, the psychological trauma, the physical trauma around it. But you know what? That is what it asks us to do. And I'm thankful to the men and women who stood by me and say, we will stay in your shadow. There are those people who could not show up because they are scared of their jobs. They are scared who will see me associating with this. But it's people dying. When I remember what Martin Luther King Jr. said, he said, injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere. And that is what it is. Can you imagine having an International Day of Women globally, and the theme cannot focus on 48 women being raped every hour? This is what our world is. What happened within the hunger strike after it ended? It forced the Canadian government, joined, France joined, and they all met in Kinshasa, and they signed, for the first time, peace resolutions for Congo, which were brought at the United Nations Security Council, 75 nations. And those resolutions brought about, in December, an embargo and an ultimatum to the two rebel movements, and some of their leaders being indicted and given sanctions. So all those have been developments. But despite all those, there is still miscommunication between peace and war. And if you may agree with me that the war in Congo has been very profitable to businesses around the globe. And that is why everyone has been silent. Just look, if you have electronics, take even your mobile phone, take your computer, your laptop, between 60 and 70% of the material in the chip of your computer and laptop globally originate from Congo. why this war in Congo, and yet we are benefiting from this war. I call upon you guys that you, the youth, be Canadians, be Africans. We should unite to fight evil. It's us to shed our way. We cannot be captured by few people who say that we are free. No, there is slavery, it's continuing. But you know what? When all our dictators, leaders, were fighting for freedom, they freed themselves and they left us into slavery. They left the common people into slavery. So it is high time I call upon you to join and fight injustice together. Please, please, if you may want to know how you can help the campaign and what you can do to help the Congo, please do. There are many people, many people who claim that we want peace, we want freedom, we want human rights. But when actions are asked, we just give the back and it's someone else to take the actions. In fact, those who take action sometimes are crucified and the whole community is silent. My friends, it's high time. As we learn from Africa, its beauty, its nature, we have also to nurture peace. Not only in Africa, but beyond the borders of Africa, Syria and everywhere. And that is the only reason we can tell ourselves a free nation. I want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you, and I hope you will take an action. Thank you.